Brodes Media.
They really did it, huh? They really did it. They really went into Queens and did the worst fucking possible thing in the world. They did that. They did that. Ay, ay, ay. So the first two games, I would say rage was probably the perfect way to describe my feelings. A lot of anger, a lot of frustration, and that's all still there, and I'm sure I'll find a pocket at some point in this show to absolutely lose my cool. But to start things off, I'm worn down more than anything else. I'm emotionally defeated. I'm sad. I'm upset. In two of these games, they weren't even competitive. And I'll give all the credit to the world, okay, to the kid on the bump on the other side today. Sometimes the Phillies hide behind that way too often. This time, I acknowledge that was a disgusting effort. But here's the kicker. That's what you are going to see in the playoffs. Great pitching. If you just put your hands up and shrug, look left and right and go, I don't know, just not our day. He's too good. Then we're not going anywhere. You have to beat great pitching. That's what happens if you want to win a championship. Sorry. You get paid a lot of money to counter that. Guys like Kyle, who have carried you for a long period of time, and that's what became a staple of your team's offense. He couldn't have disappeared more. Like, I wasn't even aware that he showed up to Queens. I didn't know if he was at the ballpark. You're not going to win when that's the case. I heard some crazy stat when I was driving into the studio one of these nights where Scott Fransky said on the broadcast that, and it's something along these lines, when Kyle Schwarber hits a home run, they win at a pace that is unbelievable and unfathomable. When he doesn't home run, they're on pace to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, that's a lot of pressure for one man to carry, and that's unfair. And I'm willing to give him wiggle room and some down spots because you can't be red hot forever. Not this series. This was the series. It should have been. This shouldn't be the same as a series against Seattle. This shouldn't be the same as a series against Washington. This is the New York fucking Mets. When you have a 7-game lead, if you get swept, it crumbles down to 4 with another long series in your own ballpark in a couple of weeks. And yeah, they're probably masking their fears by claiming at least we get to play in front of 40+ thousand on our side. But sorry, you got a lot to prove to me before I buy into any of your nonsense. And quite frankly, I'm not going to buy into any of the nonsense moving forward. But you understand that for Kyle, for Trey, for Bryce, and please, there's Trey's single in the 9th. There's Trey's grindy little single. Woohoo. Oh, man. They all failed. They all no-showed. This isn't the series where you all no-show. There's got to be something broken and fractured if that's the case. That's not just the natural ebbs and flows. Not for this series. This gives you runaway space or gives the other team life to actually be back in the dogfight. And you know what this weekend reminded me of? Not that I'm condoning this by any means. But we all lived through the high school experience. Was there ever a place in your neighborhood where people would meet up after school or on the weekend for a fight? 4 o'clock Saturday in the woods behind the elementary school. Then there'd be 30, 40 people with their flip phone camera recording it. Well, there's always this guy who gets popped where you can hear their cheekbone and jaw breaking with the impact and the collision of cheek to fist. And everyone goes, ooh. Some probably run because they're afraid. Some call the hospital, call 911. Someone rush here soon. This is bad. That was the Phillies. And even someone who was so skeptical, and I've destroyed this team for a long time, even if they're in first place and I watch baseball. It's my counter every time now I watch baseball. I see it. Even I'm stunned it was this bad. Because I thought there was a world where we... Who's calling me? I'm busy. If you go 1-2, I would have been very angry. I would have probably been freaking out. But then there's this. I could have seen a 1-2 and just be my standard traditional freak out. I crashed out yesterday. And now I'm so broken. Look at this tone. This is a tone of a man that doesn't have anything left in the gas tank. I blew my load on the second game. It was that ugly? You're telling me now that it's over and the result is finally here. It was so ugly that I blew my load on the second chance? I didn't even see it being this ugly. What was the first game? 13-3? You got to be out of your mind to feel any life with this team, to think that this is, quote, one bad series. I heard that over the last 24 hours, and I bet your ass I hear it again over the next 24, that just got to avoid the Mets. You're losers if you are afraid of the Mets. You're losers. Your team is a bunch of losers. If you have to run away from the Mets, you're losers. You're losers. You're absolute fucking losers. I can't do it. That can't be my mentality with a championship team. It just can't be. And when you saw them, the entire lineup, by the way, struggle through 6. He had the one double play. He was facing the minimum. I don't have faith that they figure it out. I could actually see a team needing a few innings to see the stuff. And he did a good job of mixing up pitches, and Ben Davis went over the different pitches and how often and frequently he was throwing certain things so you couldn't even sit on what you wanted. And I get that. I do. If it takes 4 or 5 innings where it's rough, but then boom, you explode, boom. I mean, they had first and third in the 8th, right? Finally, the game was over, but finally, you know what they do? They have the slowest human on planet. Get Boom off the team. He can't run. He can't run. You're having Citi Field all stand up, right? When Juan Soto's throwing it to home. Woo! Boom. You are so slow that the other team's 40,000 are rising together. And it's pushing momentum the other way. Like there's slow. There's I can't really run that well. And then there's momentum shifting slow. Changing the trajectory of the feeling of the ballpark slow. He's that slow. For as much shit as I give Trey for the speedy and sometimes irrelevant and not very valued infield singles, I take that a billion years in a row or a billion times in a row over whatever the other nonsense is with Boom. But Brodes, he had a couple of hits. Shove those hits right up your ass. I can't do it. I can't do it. So Jason Stark was on the other station, and he had an interview with the afternoon show over there, and he said something along the lines of, the Mets are tremendous with getting tells, and they have tells on the relief pitching. That's why Duran got beat up a little bit and they put together multiple hits in a row. That's why Kerkering, that's why a lot of these arms who have great numbers go face the Mets and go to Citi Field and then it balloons. But I have so many counters to that. One, I think you're just allowing the players off the hook. No, I don't think our offense is hitting relief pitching as well as they should. And then we're not getting what we need out of our relief pitchers. I think that's the problem. That's number one. I understand that's part of the sport, though, where you can start relaying to your guys and see certain things. But you're telling me that these pitchers, Kirkering and Durant, are so elite that like these guys are so great against every other team, but the Mets have all these crazy, stupid answers. So the whole league can't figure these guys out at all. But then all of a sudden you face the weird and very flawed Mets team that the entire fan base up in Queens despised for 4 months, saying they don't have a chance to do anything. Now they're sweeping you, and they've had the answers with tells on all these relief pitching, and they're not even winning their division? That doesn't make sense to me. Why doesn't these other teams have tells? If you're a pitcher, major league pitching, and your tells are there and obnoxious and hitting you in the face, the Mets organization is better than the rest of the league. The Mets. Okay, yeah, the Mets. Come on, man. Phillies aren't doing what they need to do. The Phillies are doing what they always do. They're just starting it maybe even earlier than we anticipated, which is a nightmare. Then I got to watch Bader smiling at Francisco Lindor after a pretty ridiculous throw to second base to get him trying to stretch the two there. But put that tongue back in your mouth. That's a weird sentence. But still, what are we doing? I don't want to see it. It's almost as bad as the rivalry pack with Bryce, although that's way worse. That is so much worse. And the fact that he was so happy and so excited to do it, he went on Scott Lauber's pod in less than 1 day. That's all that juice and hype and excitement. Because you had some fucking pop in your voice when you were explaining how cool of an idea it was in one game where you wet yourself and you no-show. I was listening to Hugh Douglas, and he said, you got to run it back, big pimpin'. He didn't say big pimpin' at all. I don't know why. I'm just turning myself into Jalix Hunt when I'm picking up the phone talking to Howie. Good thing the Eagles are coming back. I need the Eagles in my life. Because actually, bringing up the Eagles, what I wanted to do was draw a comparison to a team that figures things out mid-game. Going back to how gross the young kid was, right? And I've seen the Eagles 7, 8, 9 weeks in a row start out slow, but by the fourth quarter, they were in such a rhythm that you saw the flashes of greatness of what they can be when they actually put it together. And then eventually over time, they hit their stride and the Eagles are blowing out the Chiefs 40-6. But you could tell on a game-to-game basis that there was a learning curve throughout the first couple of quarters. They'd start out slow, the engine would start to rev, and then bang, it just perfectly aligns. I didn't think for 1 second that was ever going to happen with the philosophy and the hitting of the Phillies bats. I'm cracking up at Nick Castellanos' 0-1 pitch. This thing, dude, I don't even know how many feet it was off the plate. I can't even make a joke about a ridiculous number that it would never be, but it was that bad that I say something flat out super ridiculous. I don't even have that in the repertoire when thinking about this swing. There he goes. He actually went down looking. I went, what? He did what? I've seen it all. And what does this Brave series even mean now at this point, right? You better win, because if you don't, then it just gets worse and worse and worse. But I don't know what winning does for feelings around the city. For any of us, the fans, you know, I think at this point it's pretty much what most of us have thought for a while. You got to prove it in the playoffs. But whenever they're expected, whenever they have the target on their back, this is what we get. I've never seen this core group of Phillies when it was that moment where you acknowledge it's time. And then it clicks. With a lot of these playoff runs over the years, their viewing experience and the relationship with the fan base, it's been very sour and very frustrating. They just don't ever seriously get it to click properly through the regular season stuff at the end. And maybe you can use that against me and say, well, Brodes, that was the case in 22. That was the case in 23. And they did go far. But I do feel as years go by and as players get older, more wear and tear, you don't have Zach Wheeler this go around, and that's not something that you can just plop a human being in and think that production's coming with it. And I think the vibes change when it comes out of nowhere and it's fun to when it's business. It's not about fun and meeting us over at Xfinity Live afterwards for drinks and you can hang out on the balcony. It's anything short of a championship is unacceptable, and you should look at yourself very unhappy with the baseball. Very unhappy. Pissed. Matching my energy from yesterday. And then quadruple it. And they don't feel that way? Wait, I know this is completely off the track here, but was there something about Jordan Romano who spoke with reporters and mentioned that his season's not done? I don't think today's the day. I don't think today's the day. I can't do that. I don't have the energy for it. I do have the energy, though, after this show is over to go outside and enjoy myself an Emilio cigar. Old school roots, new school attitude, locally owned, third generation. Made at the Fábrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. This is the best cigar to smoke. If you're going to a family event, a family party, if someone's graduating, you're going to be hanging around the uncles, your father-in-law, hey, let's go smoke an Emilio. You bring the Emilios, they're going to say, damn, yo, this dude, this dude's an ass kicker. This dude is the complete opposite of the Phils. You know what I'm saying? And when I tell you that there is nothing better to ever touch my lips, when I want to relax, when I just want to hear the summer night and think about anything but how much I hate my baseball team, and I just, that's me enjoying. That's me enjoying it. And right now, you can get 10% off by clicking the link down below in the description, utilizing promo code BRODES10. If you are a cigar smoker, do not be a fool. Make sure you check out their website. Everybody that I have given some Emilio cigars to, I do get the same damn reaction, and it's wow. Yeah. I'll see you on the website, Brodes. Give it a shot. Give it a whirl. It'll change your life. Make sure you join the Emilio Cigar family today. So I put out a Twitter poll knowing where everybody is right now emotionally, so this will be swayed. But about 2,700 votes came in. You can follow me on Twitter at Brodes81. What thought do you connect with more? Here's your two options. Just one bad series versus the Mets, or this team can't win a World Series. It is heavily in the favor of this team can't win, and rightfully so at 77%. But there are about 23%, if not maybe more, as the days go on. They win a game or two to make everyone forget, and they're not sitting in it the same way we are currently, that think it really is an avoid type of philosophy moving forward. Just avoid. Avoid, avoid, avoid. And then you can focus on beating anybody else in your way. No other National League team gives you goosebumps. The Mets do. Something doesn't sit right with me about that, though. You don't reflect a serious competitor if you're running away. When you are the champ, when you have the heart of the champion, this is going to sound corny as hell. but you are in attack mode. You're the cheetah on all these films when you're back in school. We're doing these school references. I don't know where these are coming out of. But, you got the cheetah running in slow motion. That needs to be the team that goes and gets the World Series. That right there. Not the one running away. How did we get here? How did it fall this south? Well, it's because we know who they are. When they play their best baseball, it's really fun. And it is scary. And there is fear that strikes other teams, and they do get afraid of that. But when they bow down to their opponent, oh, it is ugly. It's just so ugly. It's so demoralizing. It's a deflating way to go about your business at the ballpark. It really is. One single, maybe you get a second single in there. It's the 7th inning. The other team, you look at the pitch count. It's sitting at 76. There's only 2 innings to go. You're thinking complete game shutty. You couldn't even become competitive. You're giving up 13 and getting pantsed to set the tone of the series, and then to set the tone leaving this series. It wasn't as bad. Whoop-de-damn-do. It wasn't as gross as 6-0. But this is just horrible. Just horrible. All right, to the phones we go. I guess I stayed in the more upset tone than rage. At least I feel that way. Maybe some portions were, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think so, though. I'm just worn down. Let's go to the calls.
Man, Brodes, I don't know what to say. This team is a fucking disaster, and they continue to prove it time and time again. How have you lost 10 straight games to the New York Mets at Citi Field? This is absolutely asinine that this is what it's come down to. It drives me up a wall that I'm watching Nolan McLean look like Nolan Ryan against us, like a mix of Steve Carlton and Roy Halladay. It's blasphemous. Rob Thompson needs to be fired, and everybody in this organization needs to bow down to their fucking fathers, the New York Mets.
I don't think Rob Thompson is close to the main issue with this team, but when it's this ugly, he has a hand in it too. I always say with what a manager can provide and the percentage where they make an impact, there is a percentage. Now, it's a lot smaller than the greatness of Bryce Harper, the greatness of Zach Wheeler, the greatness of Kyle Schwarber, and the greatness of anybody else on this roster. That carries the weight way more than anything a manager can apply. But there is a portion and a percentage that a manager provides. And right now, that's not working. The message isn't working. So I don't think he's a bad manager. I think he's having a very difficult time right now. I think a lot of this is more about it not being the right group of people together. I think that's the number one issue, is I don't think the chemistry is there, and I don't think it's something that can be there. It's either in there or not. It's the point guard theory. You're either born one or you're not. These puzzle pieces either work together or they don't fit. And I don't think this core fits. But I also hate the fact that Rob Thompson after the game is saying, we battled back and hey, the kid was good. That's the type of shit that pisses me off from Topper. That's the type of shit that I can't stand for, is that. You're letting these guys off the hook. And I don't need you to just publicly shame them. And here comes Rob Thompson from the top rope, okay? I don't need it to be that egregious. But they battled back. When? They got shut out. They had first and third and 2 pop-ups. Couldn't get Alec Boehm home because he's the slowest baseball player in the history of Major League Baseball, and no one will ever be slower. The battle back thing's a flat-out lie. Don't lie. I'm not stupid. You lost 6-0. We battled back. Do you think I'm dumb? It's not a matter of them pressing. It's a matter of them not seeing the pitcher before. Excuses, excuses. I could understand an inning, 2 innings. Hell, I'll even say 5 innings. But then I need to see consistent passing it off to the next guy. Just like when Taiwan got hit. He allowed 10 hits, 4 earned. I thought he was going to go shorter than what he did, to his credit, but there's really no credit here. Although Topper did give him credit. Say he liked to run on his fastball. Whoop-de-damn-do. Another whoop-de-damn-do. Can I just see good baseball on a day-to-day basis? Can I just see a team that has balls? Seriously, a team that has toughness to them? Instead of this nonchalant crap? That was embarrassing. All right, that was truly embarrassing. Even everyone who was very pessimistic, and there's a good portion of us that were. I didn't think we'd see 2 blowouts and getting swept. I actually could see getting swept, but maybe you had more pride in your fight. Again, you're the kid that's laying in the dirt behind the class or behind the school, behind the classroom windows. He got clocked so badly in the jaw that people are calling 911. It got that bad. Whew. And they're going to win some games against Atlanta. And then you're going to hear the optimists say it was just a bad series and all teams go through it. And, you got to write it in chalk that something's going to happen in the regular season that irks you. Then there's going to be an awesome series that you sweep maybe on the road against a team you never saw coming. And it was just a phenomenal 3-game stretch, or they lose a heartbreaker to end a road trip, but they still go 8-2 instead of going 9-1. And you wouldn't have projected that, right? And it all counterbalances, but not now. Not now. Nothing needs to be said. When you know the opponent that you're going to, you know the time of year, you know the standings, you know the games back, you know it all. You don't have to address it. You could feel it. There was meaning behind those games. Why do you think the Mets looked that great? They matched the moment. They matched what it was calling for. Because they knew, they understood. And if you are a team with legitimacy, and you were seriously attacking this the right way, as players, even as a manager, you got to meet that moment. This is a third of what the moment is, and they're aware of that. They've been in the thick of it. But we're talking a long ways now. We reference this, quote, core going on runs quite a bit. But that World Series was a long time ago now. That NLCS Arizona Game 6, Game 7, that was a long time ago now. Can they flip the switch? They may beat the Braves. But what is that going to do for me, really? Nothing. Let's take the next call.
Hey, bro, it's long-time listener. I mean, this team, it's just a joke. I mean, I try to have faith, and every year they let me down. I mean, I found it funny. There was a ad for a Bryce Harper Funko Pop. That's the only pop this lineup seems to have. I mean, just no juice in a rivalry game like this, in a rivalry series, in a division series when the race is getting close. I mean, just a joke. And I don't know what to say anymore. This team is just disappointing.
It's a good word to use, no doubt about it. And it's funny that you lay it out that way, as I did previously, knowing the importance of these 3 games. I have a bullet point. It's the second bullet point on my notes. And it just says, how? With 4 underlines. How? You could eliminate everything I've said to this point. And I just want you to digest this thought. How? You know what I mean? Let that sink in. Let it marinate. Let it cook. Preheat in the oven. 450. Throw it in for 20 minutes. Season it up. How? How? I'll keep myself up all night, staring at the ceiling. I'll hear my dogs licking their frickin' feet, and I'm like, oh my God, stop! As you can tell, that happens often. And I'm going, how? 4 a.m. Didn't even compete. I'm almost out of words too at this point. And defeated. I'm sorry. This is just how it is. We'll take one more call here.
Hey, man, I got to be honest with you right up front. I'm a huge New York Mets fan.
Ew.
However, with that being said,
Ew.
I've been watching your podcasts, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is that you talk
It's
about.
going to be nice.
For a while now, you make great content, and I just got to applaud you, first of all.
This is
love your show, love what you do. You're entertaining as hell.
No,
and,
stop.
Yeah. But what I want to talk about is, do you think the Zach Wheeler injury, because I figure you know better, do you think the Zach Wheeler injury is affecting the guys in the clubhouse more than maybe they let on? Do you think it's kind of hitting them with their superstar ace? You know, that's a career-changing injury. Do you think it's finally starting to set in and it's affecting the way they play?
Huh. So he was very nice, kind, and had a pretty fascinating question. Damn it. Okay. Damn it. Good guy. That's interesting. Is it one of those things where as they play this series, reality settles in that the Zach Wheeler loss is a bigger hill to climb? For whatever reason, they bought into it, and then they realized real quick how far away they are, and then that deflated them. I don't think they're there yet. No, I think they're delusional. I think Dave Dombrowski seriously assembled this team thinking they could win. I think Bryce seriously thinks they could win. I think Kyle thinks they can win. I think they can still win. No, I do. I do feel that way. Now, they're delusional and they're wrong. And they're probably right to be delusional and wrong. And I guess in a weird way, I would hope that they convince themselves they have a way until it's ruled out completely and it's just not mathematically there for you anymore. You're knocked out of the playoffs or something. It's probably good to brainwash yourself and think. But at the same point, I want them to be smart enough to realize we ain't it. Because if you don't know that you're not it, then I don't know. You don't. I was going to say then you're a problem. You're a problem. Because the only way you can get to the mountaintop is sort of understanding you're at the mountaintop and having that confidence and swag that that's where you are. But if you can't truly assess that there's a difference from where you are to the top of the mountain because you're so brainwashed, that's a bad thing. Now I'm even getting confused. Bad guy. Look, a bad guy. Making my brain twist. He's one of those sick ones that did it mentally. Touche. All right. I love my lawn. That I know. I don't know a lot about this baseball team because they're so inconsistent, but I sure as hell know about my lawn, and that's because of my great friends over at Green Lawn Fertilizing. I tried so many different DIYs, and I was screwing everything up. And it was shame on me. So I went to the ones that can educate me. And Green Lawn Fertilizing sat me down and said, Brodes, we're going to do these X amount of different treatments to your lawn. It's going to take this long for the first treatment. This is what the first treatment's going to do. Then we'll start the second treatment. This is how long the second treatment is. This will then open the door for bang, our third. And they just walk you through it. They communicate with you. And they are just like family at this point. They are more than just my lawn service. And I love them. And right now, they have a special fall recovery bundle that is here for you. And what you need to do, it's one free application and $100 off your aeration and seeding. And if you click the link down below in the description, that will send you to their website. It'll tell them that Brodes sent you, and you can get started. Now is the time. I needed to be better than that, and I had no idea where to start. It's simple. You pick up the phone, and you talk to Green Lawn Fertilizing. With that, I'm out of here. Thank you guys all so much. I gave it my all these 3 games. This is what we're left with. It's nuts, isn't it? Go Birds.